Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla and I'm working with DMEGL India. So today I will be talking about business continuity of supply chain post COVID-19. Now we all know that it may be an individual, it may be a society, a nation, everybody is hugely impacted by COVID-19. It has opened a Pandora box of uncertainties and nobody is sure how the things are going to move in coming days. And everybody is trying to make some temporary or some permanent or long-term actions to deal with this new normal situation. In the old golden days, maybe 2 months back, everyone, especially in the manufacturing sector, was totally dependent on China. And China was sort of a world's factory which was catering to the needs of the entire world. All of a sudden, everybody has started looking inwards and trying to be self-reliant. As per the Darwinian theory, it is a survival of the fittest. So each and every country is just trying to see that how they can devise some new methodology so they can survive and sustain on their own. If we talk about the manufacturing sector, especially the automotive sector, the supply chain plays a very, very important role. Where it is considered to be hard when something scatters in case of supply chain, it is even harder to assemble the entire supply chain. As somebody has rightly said with respect to manufacturing of car, that even with 99.9% of the components available, a complete car cannot be made. So that's the power of supply chain. When we talk about automotive sector and if we bifurcate the entire supply chain, so it will be around 6 or 7 main components. The first one is the consumer who purchases the car. The second one is the dealer who is getting the car or maybe a two-wheeler from an OEM and then selling it to the consumer and also providing the services. Then comes the OEM, original equipment manufacturer, who is making a vehicle based on the components that they are getting from tier 1. They are assembling it and then they're selling it to dealer. Then thereafter then comes tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. The tier 1 is the most closest to the OEM. They are doing most of the assemblies, getting parts from tier 2, 3 and 4 and then giving back to OEM. Tier 2 is in general smaller comparatively to tier 1 and they are more dependent upon tier 1 and they get the component from tier 3 as well as tier 4, do some sort of small sub-assemblies and they give it to tier 1. Tier 3 in general is sort of an outsourced process or support process wherein they are doing some activities like tool making, heat treatment, welding, electroplating and all those things are being done and they are supporting the entire supply chain. And then in the last is tier 4. Now these tier 4s are actually huge and big. These are generally the raw material manufacturer, say for example steel, paper, chemical, paints. So all those things are being done by tier 4 and in general they also have a direct link with OEMs also. Now let's understand through business continuity perspective what are the possible challenges. So let me just bifurcate them into 4 key parts: business perspective, financial perspective, interested parties perspective, and the fourth one is internal processes perspective. So let me first talk about the challenges faced by these 4 categories. So to start with business perspective, first of all, during this time the business is volatile. Nobody is very sure how the business is going to happen in coming days. Then it is uncertain. Nobody is very clear about the demand in coming days. Sometimes it looks it will be good, but then you start feeling that no, it will be gloomy for a long period of time. Then there is a lot of complexity that has come at the moment because of government policies, because of this coronavirus. Nobody knows that how it is going to come out in coming days when things are getting open. And the fourth one is ambiguous. Now, if you talk about the supply chain, unless and until the complete supply chain is working, only then things can work. But presently, some part of the supply chain is working and the remaining is not working. So how the process will be seamless, nobody is aware about that. Now that brings point number 2, financial perspective. I think almost in all the companies, the capital expenditure or the capex has been freezed because there is no scope at the moment. If you talk about the government policies, nobody is very sure that what will happen to their loans. I think most of the companies are basically working on loans. So how they are going to repay the loans, so that's another financial perspective which is important for the organizations. Then the condition of the organization as well as the entire supply chain is bad. The cash flow has been hit in a very, very bad manner. So that's a big challenge. If we talk about the automotive sector, then for Euro 6 technology, they have invested a lot of money. And for the upcoming electric vehicle also, there were many OEMs who had spent a lot of money on that. Now all that money is somehow, stuck somewhere and nobody is sure how to go about it. Then if we talk about the third perspective, which is interested parties. So they have their own set of challenges, like they are not as mature or as big as the OEMs, right? So there the biggest challenge is about communication. Their quality management system is in general weak. Their dependency on their suppliers and the employees is comparatively much more than anyone else. Then they don't have any emergency preparedness process in effect with respect to them, and some more challenges with respect to that. And there comes the fourth one, internal processes. Now, first of all, the most important thing is the indifference of top management with respect to accepting that yes, really we are in a mess and we need to come out. The lack of vision and any policy, that's another big challenge. The absenteeism, the unavailability of skilled manpower is another big challenge. And then with this COVID-19, the morale of people are losing job. That's another big challenge that everybody is facing. Now, what to do about that? So there can be some possible solutions with respect to these four areas. So let me talk about that. So let me start first again with the business perspective. Now it's a time for top management to be involved in day-to-day activities and have very good communication with each and every employee and all their interested parties to give them a boost that yes, we can survive and we will survive at any cost and we'll all work as a team. Then another important thing could be with respect to increasing the morale of the people and thinking about the new ways in which the costing can be taken care of, some new methodology can be defined. Say for example, with respect to digitalization, Internet of Things, and some new channels of communication so that everybody feels confident about how the things are moving. Now coming to second perspective, that is a financial perspective. Even though it is true that most of the companies have frozen their capital expenditure, capex, but at the same time, they need to invest some new amount with respect to digitalization, Internet of Things, low-cost automation. They have to find out some alternate ways to reduce the cost in the entire supply chain. So that will be very important at this time with respect to financial perspective. So here comes the third one, which is interested parties. Now, interested parties, all those companies, the first and most important thing that they need to do is about communication. I think that is the single most important thing. If they can work on that, that is going to make a lot of difference. Then apart from that, making the skilled manpower, multi-skilling that they need to, making people more empowered so that they can take decisions and giving them the support and empathize with them. Not feeling that all the problem is with the owner and the employees and the workers, their problem is little than their problem. And there comes the fourth one, that is internal processes. Now here it is very important to have a robust emergency preparedness plan, how to deal with the situation, regularly interacting with all the employees and the related interested parties, that again is an important. Then how to see to motivate the people and bringing the morale back and giving them confidence that they are not going to lose their job. So hopefully with these and many more actions, hopefully things will come to normal. Even though generally we may see some challenges at the moment, but there may be some new challenges which may be awaiting in coming time. But if you look at the organizations and nations, they have come out strongly after all these challenges. If you look back at 2008, you must have seen that how strongly companies have come back and they perform very good. So hopefully the organizations will also take it as a challenge and they will come out more strongly and effectively and with a lot of maturity from this COVID-19 challenge. So let me summarize again. I talked about the supply chain, wherein I talked about consumer, dealer, OEM, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. Then I talked about 4 perspectives with respect to business continuity. First one was business, second one was finance, third one was internal processes, and the fourth one was relevant interested parties. So in case you want to go through this article in detail, so you can go to the below link and you will come to know more about it. And if you want to enjoy these videos regularly, so you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you.